I've never played something quite like As Far as the Eye. I've played with certain other similar mechanics in games, I've played some other turn-based efforts, I've played some games that had a similar feeling, aesthetic or basic ethos, but I've never played anything that's put it all together in this manner. As Far as the Eye has given me a new gaming experience. More than that, it's given me a fresh escape, transported away from the realities of my life and into a somewhat intangible, relaxed yet focus demanding little world. I already love this game. I haven't played anywhere near as much of it as I would have liked to because I've been busy, and yet I'm still completely enamored with it. Which is a bit of a spoiler for how this review is going to turn out. It's not without flaws, but it's charming, engaging, and totally worth my time, so today I'll try to help you to decide if it's worth your time. This is As Far as the Eye. This video is brought to you by the Board of Awesome from the epic people who support the channel on Patreon, and the current goal for the channel is to hit 60k subscribers, currently sitting at 52.8k, so if you're new here or want to see more, hitting the subscribe button would be massively appreciated, thank you so much. As soon as I got into this game, it told me there was no need to rush. This was not about speed, straight away setting the tone for the experience. The music kicked into my headphones and I stopped and listened. The magic of As Far as the Eye had begun to work on me. I had a hunch there and then that this game would likely be something I'd vibe with, and I say that as someone who mainly plays first-person shooters. This was the experience I didn't know I needed. As Far as the Eye is a turn-based resource management game. Now I know that probably doesn't sound anything like as flashy or exciting as first-person sci-fi shooter or open-world hack-and-slash adventure, but that's a good thing. This is the total counterweight to those high-octane experiences. Your palate cleanser, your relaxer, your oh my god how did I just let 4 hours of my life pass me by game. Released on the day of putting this video out, the 10th of September 2020 on PC, so you can grab it from retailers such as Steam, the Epic Games Store and GOG.com right now. Although I don't have a price for you, which is frustrating because it's not listed anywhere at the time of making this video and I couldn't get a response in time for the video, so I guess step one if you're interested is go and see how much it is and see if you want to do it. But you need more info before you weigh that up, so let's dive deeper into the gameplay. The maps are procedurally generated, aside from in the campaign, so you'll need to adapt each time to a fresh circumstance. You control creatures known as pupils, and you provide them with commands, or whispers as the game calls them, on a turn-based basis. The mechanic of the turns is that you only have so many in an area before the wave of water behind you hits and wipes out all of your pupils. And those pupils only have so many movement points per turn, which is tied to how many of the hexes they can move. Your mission is to get them from wherever their starting location is to an end safety point known as the Eye, hence As Far as the Eye. To get there you'll need to traverse to and from different areas. The challenge for you is to acquire the necessary resources and other requirements at each point in order to move to wherever comes next, whilst keeping your pupils alive and making sure they have enough resources when they arrive at the next point. The game will not let you select the next area, or halt as they're known, until you have got those resources. Meaning that yes, you're controlling nomads. It's a sort of fantasy nomad simulator, something I've never personally come across before. So your pupils can do many different tasks. Some have desires to do specific things, whereas others are open to anything. The more they do certain tasks, such as mining, the more experience they gain in that field, allowing them to unlock skills and abilities, and progress in that profession, and ultimately evolve into even more useful assets for you in certain circumstances when used appropriately. The game is deep, it really is. You can sit there on autopilot if you want, just clicking from one turn to the next, and just watching your pupils run around with vague instructions. But you'll likely get punished later on, without the game making any huge effort to make it known to you. It's your failing, you need to be aware of it. Maybe you run out of food, or you run out of turns for your requirements. Maybe you don't realize something specific, like you needed one specific pupil to advance within a certain profession because they were the closest to it, because you only had a short time frame, and then suddenly they're all dead because the water's hit you and you're done. Everything is serene and pleasant, and then boom, you realized you messed up. Games without challenge often become boring, and fairly relaxing games sometimes don't have much challenge, but As Far as the Eye doesn't have that problem. You're going to juggle how many movement points each pupil has per turn and what they can achieve with that, making sure not to waste productivity with overly long journeys or poor building placement. Because yes, you can build buildings to shorten your resource gathering trips, allow for trade, make new items and such like, whilst all the while you might be handling the threat of sickness kicking in for your pupils, or downpours, or lightning and other negative instances known as vagaties. These vagaties are made ever more frequent and impactful if you stay in an area for too long and use up too many of the natural resources. You are nomads, remember, and you're attempting to leave the world you pass through as untouched as possible. Break that ethos and nature punishes you. I'm really trying to put across here that this is a deep game to get lost in, to relax while playing and enjoy, but all the while making sure you're making sensible decisions. It will constantly challenge you. Now, if you've played an RTS game before, like say Age of Empires, you'll know all about resource gathering, but this has the added consideration of being turn-based, and you can't just stockpile up to a comfortable position where nothing really becomes difficult. Unlike in some RTS games, or indeed some other turn-based games, the water is coming. You'll have to move, and you can only take a certain amount with you, as you have to fit your resources and mobile buildings you're taking with you into your caravan for each move, leaving behind what you can't fit. Now, I did say mobile buildings because you can build mobile ones or stationary ones. The stationary ones are cheaper and have to be left behind, so you've got to build them again. The mobile ones are more expensive and they take up space. So pretty much every decision in this game has ramifications, has potential positives or negatives. The amount of potential here for mastery and high-level play is pretty vast, and that's all without mentioning auras and remains and sacred spots, passing caravans and other things that I want to leave as a mystery for you. There's so much in here, and I think it's important you experience some of it and learn some of it as I did, which is also why I'm trying not to show you too much gameplay that's later on or potentially kind of spoiler based. Now, you can choose between playing what appears to be the main mode via the play button, which gives you different set parameters to deal with, but is still procedurally generated. So it's split into different tribes from different areas with different challenges and preferences. Then there's also a custom mode where you can make things as hard or easy or specific as you wish, and there's the campaign. Now, actually the campaign leans more towards being a tutorial than a traditional campaign, and I'd recommend playing it first, unlike what I did. I played it after playing the main mode and realized how useful it would have been to have known all this stuff. I did get somewhat of a tutorial in the main play mode, but it wasn't anywhere near as in-depth as the campaign itself, so go and do that first. Now, aside from the gameplay, which has been a huge aspect of this video for obvious reasons, I want to say that visually this game is great. I know that's personal preference, but it's so perfect for what the game is, in my opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with that, but I know for sure some people are going to really connect with this. It just fits the whole feel of the game, the fantasy look, just the right amount of detail, the way things sway and react to movement, and that's all very much tied in with the audio as well. As I hinted at the start, the music, the sound of the water, rain, whatever it may be. For headphone users, it's a must that you use them. It is an escape, and it's extremely well done. The performance of the game overall was pretty solid as well. I don't have many specific complaints for you. Perhaps over time some of the mechanics will lose their glisten and get a little tedious or boring or overly relied upon. That's just the nature of playing a game really though. Either way, the core of this experience is really sturdy, and if you're into this kind of thing, it's highly likely you're going to have a good time. It feels complex and well thought out, with many potential paths to use to thrive, but with things put in place to consistently engage your brain. The one thing I do want to bring up as a negative is I had some black flashing glitch thing happen, which just kind of ruined the immersion, but hopefully this is something the devs can clear up quickly. This is all a little frustrating for me because I feel like I don't have the words to really put across that this game made me feel something I haven't felt from other games. This was unique for me, and I urge some of you out there to go and try it to see if you feel the same way. As far as the eye, it's an experience I couldn't have imagined, and one I'm so happy I now get to have. And so, let me know what you think of As Far As The Eye in the comments below. Do you fancy giving it a go or not, and why? And that is my coverage. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leaving a like is massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more, help me hit my 60k target at the minute. And all the links to my social media, including Twitch, where I'm going to start streaming soon, so make sure you go and follow me there. It's all in the description and my pinned comment. And with all that said, I'm GetGoodGuy, and I will see you next time. Laters. Now, as of making this video in early September, we're looking at figures like these, which is pretty incredible for a game that's grown completely organically. Twitch viewership really can go hand in hand with player numbers,